Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and today we're going to look at the NCAA rankings. Now, if you're like me, you're more than entitled to be a little confused. We've got 32 different power conferences, 347 Division I college teams. We've got teams that are sitting at maybe 18, like LSU, at 8-1, top of the Southeastern. And yet the teams below them, Auburn and Kentucky, both at 7-2, worse records, but are ranked higher. So for me to get my head around this, I've got my old friend in. We've got Maxwell Smart, who is NCAA guru. Max, are we entitled to be a little confused when we've got teams higher ranked with worse records in their conference?
Ordinarily, I would say yes, we should be, but we have two polls that we used to go by that would cause a lot of confusion, the Associated Press poll and the coaches poll. Well, now the NCAA has developed a new ranking system to replace those old polling systems that were very reliant on the RPI system. This NCAA net evaluation tool actually relies on win-loss game results, the strength of schedule of your opponents, the game location, the scoring margin, the offensive and defensive efficiency numbers, the amount of quality wins and quality losses. That's what it takes into. So it actually is a lot more balanced, and it gives the public, who may not be your seasoned college basketball capper, a very good impression of what the overall standings and the overall landscape of college basketball is looking like.
Okay, first of all, can you explain to everyone what RPI is? And can you also explain a little bit more when people look and see San Diego State at 23-0, but they're only ranked number 4?
Yeah, so RPI is known as the rating percentage index. It's a quantity that's used by a lot of sports teams that is purely based on the win and losses and the strength of schedule. It's something that the NCAA has used for a long time, and now getting away with that with the net system. The net system takes a lot more inputs and factors into determining where these teams are placed. So a team like San Diego State, who's undefeated and has over 20 wins in the season, wouldn't necessarily be your number one team, because we're looking at all these other factors as far as the strength of schedule, as far as your offensive and defensive efficiency numbers. So although most people will look at San Diego State and be like, they should be higher, well, the net rankings actually evaluates them the way that they should be, and therefore at their appropriate number.
Okay, so do you think that some of the, obviously we've got like the Pac-12, the Big Ten, do you not think that they should be maybe spread out a little bit more? So obviously we've got 32 different power conferences, that maybe we should have 2 or 3 of the big guns right across the board in different conferences. And also, when you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, right, how much of this is actually based on the history of the colleges?
I would say that a great deal of it is probably based on public perception. We always are going to probably rank the teams like North Carolina, Kansas, the Kentuckys of the world higher than the likes of a Loyola Chicago or Nevada Wolfpack. And that's purely because of the recruits that they get. I think that when you are a Power 5 school, you do have budget advantages over some of the smaller schools, let's say in the SWAC or the MEAC, who spend their non-conference season getting paid by schools supposed to be taking large losses in order to fill and pay for their basketball budgets. So there's always going to be a favor to the big schools because they have the most money, they have the most allure, and they have the best facilities. But as far as the rankings, it takes a really good performance from one of these smaller teams in one of these small conferences to make a move on the map, such as a team like Rhode Island or Dayton has so far this year.
So everyone talks about the rankings and the top 25. Now, if someone's going blind and this is their first March Madness, and it's obviously when the brackets come out, do we expect all of the 25 or the majority of the top 25 to progress?
I think that it's you have to keep in mind there's going to be more than 25 teams in this tournament. We're talking about a tournament of 68 teams. We're talking about it's a tournament based on matchups. So it's not really a factor when it comes into it. I think that it's a factor in the regular season because the selection committee is always going to be picking games based on these net rankings. I think that with the rankings, it's a good starting point for people that are getting into the college basketball forum for March Madness. But my best suggestion is always to trust somebody that you can watch at SBR, Sportsbook Review, for your college basketball information.
That's a lovely link because I'll just be saying that if you want anything, you want to know anything about the NCAA, then our top man is Maxwell Smart. So I'll look forward to speaking to you plenty through this season. Max, have a great March Madness. And thanks for throwing some light on the jungle that is the college rankings. You take care.
Thank you, Flash. Take care.
We always like to talk to our friend and yours, Maxwell Smart. Until next time, we'll see you soon. You take care.
Hi guys, if you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss a show, make sure to subscribe and more importantly, hit that bell button. You can also follow us on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks or head to sportsbookreview.com for all your betting needs. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in.